Hi, I wanted to introduce myself and share a bit about spiritual therapy. So, I'm a trained spiritual therapist, a movement chaplain, and worthy coach, and I have an educational background in decolonial feminism and international politics. My work has always been to facilitate the conditions of peace, whether that's inner and interpersonal, between men and women, nations and peoples, and communities and organizations. And I've been doing this work in one form or another for more than 2 decades. So I was drawn to spiritual therapy because I had gone as far with psychological therapies as I could go. I wanted something that would take me into the deeper meaning of life, something that could make sense of things in a larger, more cosmic perspective. I trained to be a spiritual therapist, and along the way, healed wounds of religion, patriarchy, racism, and abandonment. I worked through grief, trauma, terror, and despair. Spiritual therapy goes beyond our material nature to bring us into alignment with our essential selves, our true nature that is not defined by the world but granted by a greater intelligence. And the healing is the return to our essential wholeness. It was always a challenge to find a therapist who could knowledgeably engage me as a woman of color in a colonized world. It was frustrating to be in therapeutic sessions that couldn't take seriously the particular harms that come from colonization, which itself is colonizing. I approach spiritual therapy through a decolonial wellness framework, meaning I understand that our inner work is personal, political, and spiritual, and that there's a spiritual component to social transformation. I think about Audre Lorde, who says caring for myself is self-preservation and an act of political warfare, and Gloria Anzaldúa, who says I change myself, I change the world. As we heal the collective. Spiritual therapy starts from an understanding that you are made whole and complete, that there's nothing missing from you, there's nothing inherently wrong with you. You are, in fact, more than the world tells you, more than your body and mind, more than your wounds, traumas, and sorrows. You have these things, but you're not reducible to them. The exploration of the moreness of you is what makes healing deep and long-lasting. The more you understand your spiritual nature and see yourself through the perspective of life itself, the less susceptible you become to worldly harm. You can still see it, it's still there, but it has less of a hold on you. It becomes less definitional of your sense of worthiness or capacity. You start to take things less personally and have greater perspective on why things happen the way they are. You're less attached to worldly approval and more grounded in your authentic voice that loves you just as you are. You feel more peaceful, less critical, less judgmental and harsh with yourself and with everybody else. You feel less fear, less stress, anxiety, depression, insomnia, anguish, and helplessness. You embrace your emotions as the vehicle for deepening your connection to your heart and soul. Now more than ever, it is important to draw from the well of strength that comes from our authentic nature, because we are in a long haul, paradigm shifting, civilizational moment of world historic proportions that calls us to heal and get over, to rise as agents of a better tomorrow. Are you ready to heal? Are you ready to lay down your burdens and live from your wholeness? Are you prepared to be easier on yourself and happier in your life? Let me know. Leave a comment, send me a message, and let's get started.